Alright, so I got my tool crib here. Just going to go over some of the, tools and a little couple of tips for when you, tackle a boat project for restoration. One thing that really comes in handy first off is if you have to replace any hardware, you have difficult bolts that you need to get taken care of. Definitely recommend using an angle grinder. Really cuts down a lot of the time needed. Again, just using basic Harbor Freight cutoff wheels. Obviously safety glasses, I think I have these further buried in here, but when we get to an actual live demo, we'll definitely be using those. A couple of different types of sanders. Got a belt sander here, regular palm sander using 120 grit, real coarse, rough stuff, just to kind of pull up some more of that additional, layer of old paint, gunk. Last thing, if we did have to replace the transom, just using a jigsaw just to be able to cut some, more intricate pattern type work to fit the boat. And just some other common things you want to have on hand just in case. Obviously your drill hopefully fully charged before you tackle, too deep into this. A lot of things like wood items get rotted. They're hard to come off. So, sometimes it's real caveman-like after using the angle grinder and, hammer and chiseling away until you get something to break off. Another thing that's come really in handy when sanding just won't do and it's too delicate of an area to use the angle grinder is just a basic wire brush. Again, this is just after working on a couple of boats. You end up collecting hardware, some good, some bad, so just keeping some miscellaneous screws, bolts, stuff like that on hand because you never know what's going to fit and what's going to come in handy with each unique boat project. So now on to when we do eventually get into the paint process, just a few things to note. We are using enamel-based oil paint. Holds up really well. You don't have to really worry about a lot of multiple coats. Stuff comes out pretty thick. I'd say, boats here it is drying out. It's, 2 coats and you're looking good. We haven't decided what color scheme we're going with this boat yet, but just based on what I have on hand, I got a white, a gray, and a green, so we'll see if that's still the case down the road. So, pretty much for a boat this size, you're going to use maybe a half gallon on the inside and a half gallon on the outside. Other than that, your basic paint stirrer, a roller. I need to pick up brushes, open up the paint can, tape for some of the line work we're going to do on the guardrails, and then, normally a multi-size of some cheap brushes, just trying to, again, this is going to be a restoration with the intent to sell, so we're trying to keep costs low on some of the materials.